Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Talk with Physic. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed today's video, please do leave it a like and subscribe if you'd like to help support me and my channel. If you want to go a step further than that, Patreon, PayPal, all in the description. So today, we are going to be just talking about various different things that have been going on at the minute. That's what a Let's Talk is. I have three kind of types of videos: a Physic Talk, where I focus on one subject, a Let's Talk, where I focus on all kinds of different stuff, and weekly windows, where I talk about news-based items over a 2-week or 1-week basis. So it's a Let's Talk today. First, I want to get this out of the way. I am very much frustrated, as always, looking at ONISION's Twitter. If we could take a look at these remarks that he's made, it's upset me a lot, as you can probably tell. So, let's have a look. Right, the first one I noticed was, coming from ONISION, of course: if you willingly put illegal drugs in your body, no one should feel sorry for you. Your choice, your responsibility. Now let's focus on people who have problems that aren't entirely their fault, like this child in critical condition. You're an idiot. You're a clueless buffoon. You're spouting the most ridiculous nonsense. You're clearly banging on about this kind of stuff to inflate your own ego and make it seem like you're the best person in the world, when in fact you're not. You're a manipulative, sly little snake, a little worm. Let's take a look at this second message on a similar subject. I have no idea what drug abusers think the end result is going to be. Also, there is no logic to pray for Demi. God let it happen. If you love your gods and respect them, stop clapping your hands on your knees with a "Dear God, you messed up again. It was him." Say no to drugs. So there are many reasons why what you've said here is absolute nonsense. So let me teach you a little thing about addiction, because you can't be bothered to do research, be compassionate and empathetic towards these people, and instead mock them online in some clueless way of trying to boost your own ego. Drug abuse is a massive and very real problem, and you are a heartless if you think that people that put illegal drugs in their body are doing it entirely because it's their fault and no one should feel sorry for them. What are you talking about? Why do you think drug abusers end up using drugs? It's because there are massive problems in their lives. Maybe abused as a child, maybe had no parents, a foster home, maybe was brought up by drug addicts themselves. Do you have no clue about how drug abusers end up doing what they're doing? They don't just think one day, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna do a load of heroin, and then end up overdosing at some point. That's exactly my plan. What? No! Let's just ignore this huge amount of people in England that have horrible lives that we really need to help. So you've upset me. This is nonsense. This is absolute nonsense. For someone that has had a lot of experience with drug use and addiction and that kind of thing, it's been in my life, it's been around my life, I know a lot about it, and I know what you're saying is nonsense. But here's the thing. People that end up abusing drugs are people that have had poor childhoods, poor upbringings in most cases, and through that poor upbringing they have a natural lack in dopamine, so they feel the need to reach out to certain things. It doesn't have to be illegal drugs, it can be anything. That's a chemical imbalance in your body. We should feel sorry for these people, and we should give these people a helping hand. If you think it's entirely their fault and we should just ignore them, then you don't understand the situation and you can't be bothered to even think about it for 1 minute. You're just going to focus on random charities that you've looked up to make yourself look better. Now, I don't know if that's the truth, but it certainly looks that way, and knowing what you're like, you do stuff like this all the time to manipulate people into thinking that you're some higher being. So, glad I've got that out of the way. Next topic. ONISION has also made a new video on EUGINIA COONEY. Again. After everyone said,
"No, don't do that."
I don't think it's good to make videos on EUGINIA COONEY. I don't think it helps her. And I'm sorry, but you are absolutely doing this for views. There are people in the comments that seem to think that you want to genuinely help her, but I don't see how this helps her. I don't think it does. I think it makes the situation much worse. Onision is once again using the excuse that because people asked him to do it, he goes right ahead and does it. As if just because people ask him to do it makes it fine for him to suddenly do it. I don't think that's how it works. You've done this so many times with so many topics. Largely, what springs to mind instantly are the numerous videos you've made on Shane Dawson, absolutely bullying him just because your fans asked you to make those videos. That's your rubbish excuse for doing it. The real reason you're doing it is for views. I'm sure there's part of you that wants to help her, but if you actually understood the situation, you wouldn't make these videos. So I saw this comment that says, wow, another damn video on EUGINIA COONEY, and I thought, yeah, I agree. So someone's comment says, he makes these videos because people request them. He said he doesn't like making them, but he wants us to enjoy them. I personally love these videos. If you don't, then don't watch them. That's not the point. I don't like the videos and he shouldn't be making them. It's not that I shouldn't be watching them, it's that he shouldn't be making them. And this person goes ahead and says, what makes Greg entertaining is the fact that he is always right. From what I know, he has never been successfully contested in any topic, as he always has the facts and evidence to back himself up. You say that she needs help and that this video is making it worse, but how is this making her situation worse when all it's doing is showing that a lot of people are worried about her serious illness? Little bit clueless? Little bit clueless. The reason why this makes things worse is because, one, Onision's making it for views, not really to help her. I'm sure that, as I say, I'm sure there's a part of him that does want to help her, but he knows this topic will get him views. That's one reason why this isn't going to help her. Second, you are absolutely putting a massive goddamn spotlight on someone with severe anxiety and body issues. So no, we shouldn't be shining a light on this. It is absolutely not your right to talk about this. And what? Onision is always right? What? What do you mean Onision is always right? No, he isn't. He is very much wrong most of the time. I'm pretty sure he's manipulated you very successfully into thinking that he's always right. That's one thing he does quite well. He will mock people that contest his ideas, and then it's like this guy is doing a parody saying that he's always got facts and evidence. What? So he looks up terms on Google and there's his facts and evidence? No, he is not always right. He's very manipulative into making people think that he's right. But good God, as I've just shown, those two tweets are absolute rubbish. They're meaningless. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that because I think it's bad that he continues to make videos on EUGINIA COONEY. So, next up we have Greg Paul. This is Logan and Jake Paul's father. After the press conference, he went a bit bonkers. He went a bit weird and it all turned into chaos. There was people chasing each other. Greg Paul was pushing kids around. It was just ridiculous, and it's clear why this happened because in the press conference KSI went ballistic on Greg Paul, and this is where I have a big problem with KSI. I know I mentioned this last time, but he says some really horrible things that he really doesn't know much about. With this thing with Greg Paul, he in a video joined Jake in this weird kissing thing, this weird little game where a girl was blindfolded and we saw who the best kisser was out of Jake and Greg Paul. So it was a bit weird that Jake Paul's dad was getting involved with this with very young girls. So it's a bit creepy. He shouldn't have done it, but the way KSI attacked him in front of hundreds of kids that despise them, I think that was a step too far. I really do. So let's take a look at the press conference and the aftermath as well.
And no one has yours besides your ludicrous mum and your disgusting delusional dad. You're an old man. But I'm sure you wouldn't mind lasting one round with all the little girls you like kissing.
So it's very much unclear exactly what was happening in this clip, but you can definitely see Greg Paul pushing this kid after he was taunting him. This follows with him giving him a right hook around the back of the head, and Jesus Christ, like, what kind of a press conference is this? It was chaos, absolute chaos. Even KSI and Deji's car got beaten up. It was just ridiculous. It's a mad world that I don't particularly understand. Finally, follow up on Ninja and this whole Ligma death hoax thing. Apparently Ninja was so fed up with getting these comments and messages as he's streaming that he got a moderator to block all the people saying these things. However, one thing with this is that tons of people have flocked to his channel to ask him what Ligma is and all that kind of stuff, so he's actually making a fair bit of money off of this whole thing, so kind of backfired. But I will say this once again, what unbelievable childish behavior this is. Like, oh my goodness, it's such a bad joke. Like, if you're gonna do something like this, at least make it funny. It is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard. I think this must have been started by a very young person, like 13, 12-year-old, I don't know. So I think that pretty much covers the topics of today. Thank you so much for joining me. I am currently getting myself the update for No Man's Sky, which means there will be full multiplayer, there will be third-person view, there will be so many different new and wonderful things, a lot of additions to the base building kind of stuff. So once I have that, I'm going to be streaming that. It will definitely be on Friday that I'll be streaming, and as well as that, we will be continuing with Stifled, which is this blind echolocation horror game that I think is simply wonderful. So, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed today's video, please do leave it a like and subscribe if you'd like to help support me and my channel. Once again, if you want to go a step further than that, I have a Patreon and PayPal set up. Links are in the description to both of those. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.